So, whether you like it or not, we're coming to the end of Picard Season 2. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, and I thought I'd share a few ideas on what I think might happen in the Season 2 finale. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review. So it's the end, at least until Season 3, and it's fair to say that this season has been a pretty much mixed bag. If you still care, which I know that most of you probably don't, because I do read your PMs and comments, though I don't get a chance to reply to them. But for what it's worth, here's my predictions on what I think is going to happen in the Season 2 Picard finale. So they've sort of dealt with a lot of the plot storylines or threads, whatever you want to call them, but also not really, because the Borg thing's been resolved, but then it's not, because we're going to have to get the Queen in the future. I'll get to that in a second. But here we go. So Renee, we know that she helped save the world with her discovery, and we don't really know what that is, and to be honest, I don't think we're going to get told. If it is some sort of microbe, it's something that's going to have to regenerate the atmosphere, because it seemed that Sun's invention, or what he done to classify him as a saviour, was linked to help saving or extending Earth's atmosphere from what we've seen in the Confederate future. But we haven't really seen any evidence of that other than the force fields, drones that look like the force fields that are around Earth, because writing. But yeah, what's going to happen with Renee is she's good, Sun's bad, etc, etc. We haven't seen her in 3 episodes. And so, does she still get issues to come over? Does she still need Picard's help? Like, how is this all going to fit in? You know, she's going to have to blast off into space. I don't really see what's going to go on there. With regards to the Watcher or Talon or Laris or whatever you want to call her, I think she's going to do a little bit more than watching. Because Picard did have that weird line in the Ocean's 11 episode where he asked her who watches her. So I think she might do something, there's some sort of penance, she gets whisked away, but Picard gets to go back to the future with Laris, again, because of writing, happiness, whatever. But if she does need Picard's help, it's going to come in the form of a reaffirming speech that's going to change her perspective and remind her of who she is, because that's what this show is sadly all about. But anyway, on with it. Sun. Now, this guy's been all over the place this season, literally. He's been a Q henchman, an evil scientist who's keeping his daughter in the basement that's definitely not a sex thing, an investor in the space program, a henchman of Q, an owner of Borg assassin drones, and he's still out there and he's still a threat even after last week's standoff, and he's got the goal to stop Renee. Now, is it just me? There's a lot of simple ways he can do this and actually killing her or physically harming her. He could just damage the rocket and that would delay it, but that would make sense. That's not going to happen in this show, sadly. He's probably going to try and kill her somehow, and Picard and the gang are going to have to step in. Somehow, I don't know how because I haven't given it too much thought because I don't really care anymore. His clone daughter is going to hook up with Picard, and that's going to result in a speech where he learns the error of his ways. Because I don't think they're going to kill him, because Star Trek only seems to want to kill nameless background characters en masse the last 2 seasons of Picard. And what could have been a very promising villain with stakes turned into a bumbling henchman who was really just wandering about with no plan. And again, he's going to have to see the error of his ways, because I don't think they're going to kill Brett Spiner. But what's going to happen with his daughter? Like, is that going to tie into the eugenics war? I would kind of like if it did, if they just left it hanging, which they probably will. It won't mean anything, but none of this means anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like and subscribe. It's the same with Rios. Is he going to stay in the past? Is he going to go to the future? It doesn't matter. They fucked up the timeline with showing the Doctor, the last arena and all that technology. Is he going to be his own granddad? Who really cares at this point? It's not going to affect anything. The rules of time travel went out the window the second that they left the ship in episode 3. And yeah, these guys have really fucked with the timeline. But the big one is Q, I suppose. So he's dying and we still don't know what of. Could it be some sort of form of higher evolution of the Q? I doubt it. But then, why has he done all this? He said in episode 2 that it was a penance. Then he's kind of changed his tune a few times throughout the season. What's he up to in the 20th or the 21st century apart from fucking with Renee Picard? Which he could have done. Again, there's loads of ways he could have done it easier and made this plan work a lot more efficiently than the way he's done it. He's gone a very roundabout way. But I think the finale is going to be his sort of version of all good things. We might get some flashbacks, we might even get a de-aged Picard, you never know. But somehow, I hope not, but I definitely think Q's going to be the one that saves them from the Stargazer explosion. I thought about this a few times about how they get from the past back to the present. There's no technology really left for them there to do it other than Talon. But if she can time travel, she would have time travelled and stopped all this originally, but then the writers don't care, so they might use that. But then Q just snapping his fingers is an easy way to solve it. Everything goes back to where it was apart from the warp core explosion. But then what happens with the Borg Queen? You know, there's a lot going on here, and at least if half of it makes sense, I'll be satisfied, so I expect to be extremely disappointed. And speaking of the Borg Queen, we know she's coming back, and it's probably Agnes, but more Borgified under that mask. But what does she really want, and what was all this about? Is it going to tie into Q? Is it going to tie into the lesson for Picard? What is the lesson for Picard? What is this season about? I don't know. I've kind of lost interest. One thing I know for sure is a lot of Trek channels out there are probably going to be covering Strange New Worlds before the Picard finale airs, or posting it I should say. But let me know what you think. What are you expecting to see in the finale of Star Trek Picard Season 2? What do you think is going to happen in Season 3? I also think that some of the Next Generation cast are going to show up at the end of Season 2. Riker, again with a less shitty CGI fleet, because why not? As always, I'm Al, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well.